Waiting for the tech to give me a go ahead. Jai Guru. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful sunshine that we have outside and a beautiful day to start off March. Really lovely to have everybody here. And we will begin today's satsang. As all of you know, the topic of the divine river, right? We will begin the satsang as usual, invoking the presence of the divine amongst us with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters of Kriya Yoga, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashai, Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, beloved Gurudev Paramhans Yogananda Ji, friend and guide Swami Ji, saints and sages of all religions, humbly we bow at thy feet. O great ones, we call for thy presence, thy blessings. Be with us today and every day. Help all of us to be pure channels of thy path. We are thine. Be thou eternally ours. Om Shanti. Now we will start with the chant. The words are on the chairs if you'd like to join.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurti Vandatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Saharvadhi Sachivhutam Avatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyam Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Life is sweet and death a dream. Oh, life is sweet and death a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, when joy is sweet, sorrow a dream. When joy is sweet, sorrow a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me. Oh, health is sweet and sickness a dream. Health is sweet, sickness a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me. Then, then praise is sweet and blame a dream. Then praise is sweet and blame a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me. Oh, life is sweet and death a dream. Oh, life is sweet and death a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then joy is sweet and joy is sweet, sorrow a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then health is sweet, sickness a dream. Then health is sweet, sickness a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then praise is sweet and blame a dream. Then praise is sweet and blame a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, oh, life is sweet and death a dream. Oh, life is sweet and death a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then joy is sweet, sorrow a dream. Then joy is sweet, sorrow a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then health is sweet, Sickness a dream, then health is sweet. Sickness a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then praise is sweet and blame a dream. Then praise is sweet and blame a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, oh, joy is sweet and death a dream. Oh, life is sweet and death a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then joy is sweet, sorrow a dream. Then joy is sweet and sorrow a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then health is sweet, sickness a dream. Then health is sweet, sickness a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, then praise is sweet and blame a dream. Then praise is sweet and blame a dream. When thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me, 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 my Lord, when thy song flows through me, when thy song flows through me, my Lord, when thy song flows through me.
Taking the words of this chant deeper and deeper into our consciousness, feeling the divine song flowing through each one of us. Let us now meditate for the next 10 minutes.
God manifested a certain kind of energy, a certain kind of individuality in you. And you have to discover in all your actions what that is. The thing then in your life is to try to understand what is God trying to say through me. The more you can attune yourself to that, the more you can listen inside, not say, I want this and I want that. That's just a delaying tactic. You can do that for millions of years if you like. But it won't ever happen. You won't ever get there until you really tune in. Listen to what he's trying to say, and then go along with that. You can't do it passively, but to go along with it, to add your energies to that, and it can happen very quickly then. What melody is he? What symphony is he trying to make of your life? Just as in writing a symphony, there's that symphony trying to happen. So there's something that's trying to happen in you. That is your destiny. That's what you were born for. That's what you were created for from the beginning of time. And the sooner you get with it, the sooner you attune yourself to that, the faster in time it will take place. Don't think in terms of time. There was one woman who had been an atheist all her life. When she was 80, she met Master and was completely convinced and gave her whole energy to the spiritual life. She would play a recording of God, God, God on the record player, and she would meditate all the time. She would have little orange flowers in her vase to remind her of Master's orange robe, so she'd be in tune with him. Everything she could do, she was just constantly tuning herself to the essence of spirituality that he'd come to bring her. And in the few years that remained her, she attained salvation. It doesn't matter where you've been or what you've done. If you make that change now, and if you understand that the way to make that change is not to do it because with the thought of I want it, but more and more learn to attune yourself to what is trying to happen through you, the sort of letting go in a sense so that God can do it, the more you will find that I know Anandamoyi Ma, a great woman saint, when people would ask her for advice, a very usual reply of hers was, do that which God or your inner self make you do. And most people thought, well, that means, well, I want to go to Europe next year, so I'll go. But that wasn't what she meant. She meant to attune yourself to the inner self, get the brain out of the way, stop thinking too much, and just let it happen. Get into the flow, and you will find that that which you were to do will happen automatically without any effort. You don't even have to try. It just flows. This is the essence of the spiritual path.
As we continue to remain inwards, feeling the divine flow in us, strengthening it by this affirmation by Paramahansa Yogananda ji. We'll do this first out loud to the conscious mind, then in a normal voice, then whispering to the subconscious, and finally repeating it mentally to the superconscious at the point between the eyebrows. Please repeat. I think my life to flow.
I think my life to flow.
I know my life to flow.
I know my life to flow.
From brain to all my body to flow.
From brain to all my body to flow.
Streaks of light to shoot.
Streaks of light to shoot.
Through my tissue root.
Through my tissue root.
The flood of life through vertebrae.
The flood of life through vertebrae.
Doth rush through spine.
Doth rush through spine.
In forth and spray.
In forth and spray.
The little cells are all drinking.
The little cells are all drinking.
The tiny mouths are all shining.
The tiny mouths are all shining.
The little cells are all drinking.
Little cells are all drinking.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
I think my life to flow.
I think my life to flow.
I know my life to flow.
I know my life to flow.
From brain to all my body to flow.
From brain to all my body to flow.
Streaks of light to shoot.
Streaks of life to shoot.
Through my tissue root.
Through my tissue root.
The flood of life through vertebrae.
flood of life through vertebrae
doth rush through spine
that rush through spine
in froth and spray.
in froth and spray.
The little cells are all drinking.
The little cells are all drinking.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
The little cells are all drinking.
The little cells are all drinking.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
I think my life to flow. I know my life to flow.
I know my life to flow.
From to all my body to flow.
From brain to all my body to flow.
Streaks of light to shoot
Streaks of light to shoot
through my tissue root.
through my tissue root.
The flood of life through vertebrae
The flood of life through vertebrae
doth rush through spine
that rush through
in froth and spray.
in froth and spray.
The little cells are all drinking.
The little cells are all drinking.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
The little cells are all drinking.
The little cells are all drinking.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
Their tiny mouths are all shining.
Gazing at the point between the eyebrow, mentally repeating now. I think my life to flow. I know my life to flow. From brain to all my body to flow. Streaks of light to shoot through my tissue root. The flood of life through vertebrae doth rush through spine in froth and spray. The little cells are all drinking, their tiny mouths are all shining. The little cells are all drinking, their tiny mouths are all shining. We'll now have the readings, first from the Bhagavad Gita and then whispers from the eternity.
This reading is from the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, explained by Paramahansa Yogananda, as remembered by his disciple Swami Kriyananda. This is page 37. A river, when its flow is strong, dissolves any eddies lingering along the bank and causes those eddies and any debris swirling in them to enter the river's powerful flow down to the ocean. In similar fashion, a strong upward flow of energy in the spine can dissolve all the vrittis or eddies of feeling and carry them up to the spiritual eye. Hence, Patanjali's definition of yoga, yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the neutralization of the eddies or whirlpools of feeling in the consciousness. The subtle help of a true or Sat Guru can help the disciple to transform his own tendencies and direct them all towards God. None of this can be accomplished, however, without the disciple's active cooperation. This process too can be hastened scientifically by yoga techniques and particularly by the great ancient science of Kriya Yoga. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes repeatedly the importance of yoga and hints more than once at this highest of all yoga sciences. Indeed, the scientific aspect of enlightenment underlies every teaching in the Gita. Thank you.
Om Guru. This reading is from Whispers from Eternity by Paramahansa Yogananda. I baptize myself in the waters of my tears of love. Through long, winding pathways of self-doubt, fording mighty rivers that separated thee from me, trudging over endless wastes of barren lives, tossing dangerously on the rapids of many ambitions, arduously climbing steep mountain trails of desire, and carefully extricating myself from whirlpools of alternating sadness and hilarity. At last, I have reached my journey's end. I look upon all those past travails with joy, every struggle, every past agony has produced a flowing spring of joyous, grateful tears. In the sacred waters of those tears, I baptize myself daily with deep love for thee.
Thank you, Meeta. Thank you, Sumit, for those beautiful readings. I think in those readings itself, we have got the essence of what we want to talk about today and think about today, more importantly, the divine river, really the divine flow. If this satsang were to conclude in just one phrase, it would be Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodh. That is the essence. However, taking a step back and let's visualize a river and somebody trying to get into that river to swim across. The person has a destination to get to, wants to be there, knows that I want to merge with the ocean, I want to merge with God. What happens in the beginning? The beginning of the spiritual path, when one is taking the plunge into the river, there is a bit of hesitation. It's quite natural. There is a bit of self doubt. What if I can't swim? There is a bit of pull on either side, the Maya pulling us back into the world. And when one takes the first step, just watering their feet into the side or the shores of the river, they start to feel calmer. They start to feel a little bit more centered that perhaps this is possible. But what happens is that actually, and Nitendra can talk about this more than I can, but for those who are swimmers here, know that swimming at the shore is actually much harder than in the center where you can go with the current. Right? Because obviously there are pebbles, there are rocks, twigs, everything around that, which metaphorically obviously mean the pulls of Maya, the desires, the habits, the past karmas, all at the shore, preventing us from getting into the flow. But thankfully, what happens? As we deepen our God consciousness, as our consciousness starts to deepen, our faith starts to build, that courage comes in. This looks like it's helping me. That's the first. This looks like this is the right thing to do. So one takes the faith that, yes, it's possible. Let me go in the center and swim faster to my destination. I want to get to the ocean and merge with the divine. Let me try and take the middle path. And what happens? It's much quicker. It's much quicker. We take a much faster route to swimming across what was taking perhaps a couple of hours to swim on the shore. Now is a matter of a few minutes as such. And we are going further and further with the current of the river. But it takes great courage to do that. It's not simple. It takes great courage to even say that if I drown in God's love, more power to me. And if we have to think about this river in the techniques that we have all been blessed with on this path, that is Kriya. The centered spine, the Sushumna, where the current flows. Now, if we drop a parallel to what we spoke about, in a river's context, the centered spine is the most powerful flow that can happen. But what happens alongside is our peripheries, our senses are pulling us into different direction. But what Kriya does is quickly centers us inwards and upwards at the point between the eyebrow. No wonder we say that is the airplane route to God. In the context of the river, the quickest current which can take you to where we all ultimately desire to be, one with the ocean, one with the infinite. Now, we know that, we all want to be in that current. We all want to be in that center all the time. We do our practices. Yes, Kriya is the single most important practice to get us to that centeredness and take us to where we want to be, which is the point between the eyebrows, having our consciousness there at every minute of our living lives and beyond. But along with these techniques, it's also useful or good reminder to know that there are some attitudes that will help us, stay centered, that will help us move faster in that current of river in the center. Easy ones, quick and easy to remember. Actually, this is my favorite, is surrender. Do not put our mind into thinking, am I at the right course? Is this the most powerful current? Should I go and find some other current which is more powerful? Should I change the river, perhaps? Or not letting the mind think about how fast I am going. Will I get there in time? For others, it has taken lesser. Not thinking about any of these. Just plain surrender to God. A surrender in our minds that will tell us that I have given my life to God and God will take me in this current with Himself. Master, in fact, says that when we surrender, this path becomes effortlessly liberating. How easy. All of us want to put less effort and get more, right? So, this surrender really, really helps us to stay in that center and stay in that spine and move faster. However, surrender does not mean passivity. It does not mean that God will take care of me. I'm here lying on my couch. That does not mean. The self-effort always, always has to be there. The self-effort is more important when the Maya is pulling you in all directions, bringing you to the shore of the river instead of the current, bringing you alongside that boat that you want to hold on to. All the sense pleasures that are there in the world, our past incarnations, our past karmas, vrittis, all of that pulling out. And self-effort and self-discipline is the most important to pull us back to actually surrender. Another easy one and a very, very beautiful one is to stay positive and to stay joyful. Knowing that God is actually helping us stay in that current and move quickly and very, very fast, not having doubts of whether this is right or that is not right, but staying very positive that I am there and my Guru and my God is helping me reach my destination. So with that joyful faith and surrender, if we all try to stay more and more centered in our spine, we have the promise from the God and the Gurus that they will do their part to take us home. Jai Guru.
Thank you so much, Praneeta, for this insightful discussion. And today there are not as many of us usually who are in the room because some of them are at the retreat, and my good colleague and friend, Guru Bhai Jitin, was pulling my leg earlier. It's actually his hobby to pull my leg. So he was pulling my leg, asking that why didn't I go for the retreat? So I said, yeah, I didn't go. I didn't give any explanation. But then later on he said, acha, aap Kumbh mein bhi nahi gaye. And then he told me that there is a shortcut way of doing this Mahakumbh. There's something called as a digital dip. So you give someone your photo and then they have your photo dip in the holy water, the holy river, and then you take that grace or blessing, which in some senses I thought good idea. I should have done that at least. But this is what happens. There are many ways through which we can, in some sense, take the water and put it on us, whether we go to the Mahakumbh and be there in the water for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, and so on, come back and live our daily lives. We do the digital dip and then we do our daily lives. The divine river that we are talking of is perhaps the grace that flows from our masters and our gurus in our lives. The equivalent of the dip, which was in the Mahakumbh or the digital dip and so on, the equivalent of that dip is perhaps what we do here, like in satsangs. We come here on a Sunday morning, take that dip for an hour, and then we go back and live our lives. Sometimes we take that dip during the day, in our weekdays, by reading a book, by listening to a chant, and so on. Whenever we are taking that dip, that divine grace is flowing through us and cleansing us. Exactly the same way the river water cleanses us when we take a dip, physically as well, and so on. There are certain differences, however, between this and the actual physical water and the divine grace. The physical water is easy to see. The river is easy to see. We know you take a train to Mahakumbh and Allahabad and so on, and that's the river I can see with my own eyes. I take a dip, I actually feel wet and so on, and then I come back. The problem is that the flow, which is actually the strong vibrations of the divine, they are flowing everywhere around us. But at the same time, there are other rivers that are also flowing. There is a very strong river of Maya that also flows. And in some sense, they're all intertwined. So it is not unless we develop those eyes, which we are now able to see that, okay, this is the Ganga and so on and so forth. Unless we develop those eyes, we cannot see, oh, this is the river of Maya versus this is the river of the divine river and so on. So we ourselves need to develop those eyes to be able to distinguish. Once we have developed, they change because they are all intertwined. Today I see in a person divinity, tomorrow I may not see divinity in that person. I may see it in the morning, I may not see in the evening and so on. So every time we have to keep attuning ourselves. Attunement helps us put those eyes in us so that we can start to see. And then only we can actually figure out where to take a dip and where not to take a dip. And interestingly, these rivers are advertised. The river of Maya is advertised a lot. The way in India, thankfully, there is this craze, everyone going to the Mahakumbh. Such beautiful environment we live in that everyone wants to go it. Now, if you see everyone wants to go, more people would want to take the effort. Otherwise, they pull your leg that, "Arey, aap gaye nahi." So that helps you do that. But at the same time, there are enough advertisers for the river of Maya. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you get a big car? Why don't you do that? And so on and so forth. Many advertisers. Because of which automatically we start to get forced to take a dip in the river, which we are not actually supposed to go. The more we attune, the more we remember, the more we realize, okay, this is the river that I want to be. This is the river that I need to be. And what happens when we are in that river? The more we let, and this is the other thing, that we have to go to the river to take a dip. Now, what is that going to take a dip in this case? That going is our own self-effort, as Praneeta was saying. The river won't come to us if we are sitting here. No matter how good or what we are, we have to draw that grace to us. Even though God's grace is flowing everywhere, we have to draw it to us. The way to draw it is to attune, to do the practices that we do, to be in these satsangs and so on. And that is how that grace flows through us. We draw it, it flows through us. If we don't draw, it doesn't flow. And what happens if things don't flow? If the water doesn't flow in the river, if the river is obstructed by some obstruction, the water stagnates. When the water stagnates, mosquitoes come in. What do we have? Diseases. The water becomes contaminated. The water means this water, which is flowing through our body, through our mind, through our soul, contaminates. We get diseases. That's why in this chant it was said, when thy song flows through me, health is and sickness doesn't exist. It is a dream. Just by letting that water flow through us. The more we take these dips, this is what changes us in our lives. And an interesting parallel to a river and perhaps the satsang is the fact that when you see water that comes in your tap, you know where it is coming from. You can see the pipe, you can see maybe the tank upstairs or wherever, and the water comes from there. Do we see that clarity when you see a river? Where does the river originate from? Many tributaries. Something adds here, something from there, something from there, so on, so on. And then eventually it becomes a strong river. Exactly the same way, the grace flows to us through so many different sources. The more we realize those sources, the more we start to visualize, oh, the grace comes through God. Oh, the grace comes through the gurus. Oh, the grace comes through seva. Oh, the grace comes by talking with Guru Bhais. Oh, the grace comes by being in satsangs and so on. And slowly when we realize, oh, these are the sources, we start to visualize this huge and big river. Lot of times it is said on this path, and that specifically Swamiji says, that if you want to move on the spiritual path, you need to have a guru. A lot of times people say, why do I need a guru? I have God. I want to make direct connection with God. Why do I need Guru Bhais? I have my master. He's given me books. I don't need any other Guru Bhais and so on. But these are the tributaries that we miss, which are actually adding up to the main river. If we block those tributaries, how much water will flow to the river? And the parallel of that with this satsang, and that's the reason why it is called as a satsang, is we may think that the fact that the satsang is by Praneeta and Nitendra, but that again we miss the full point. The satsang gets added onto by so many tributaries. The tributaries are people who put up such a beautiful altar that we see at the background. The tributaries are the people who do all the tech stuff and so on. The tributaries are by Sumit. The tributaries are by Meeta, who did the reading. The tributaries by us all, who are actually contributing in vibrations. And all of these tributaries start to add. And that is why, irrespective of we listening to this or maybe reading a blog on it or maybe listening to this video later on in an offline fashion at home, is totally different from being immersed in this kind of a satsang. And all we want is for all of us to use and start to see with our eyes all these tributaries, get into that river, and then merge in God. Joy to you all. We'll now listen to a song by Swamiji. This is Life Flows Like a River, and the words are in your sheet as well if you want to do, and then we'll have the Aarti.
Life flows on like a river that homes to the sea. 1 hour bounding through mountain vales, 1 hour winding through valley. None may on the way, none may coax time to stay. Fleeting scenes move by us like a dream. Cling not, none will be your own, lest you grieve to be alone. Go within you, there's your home. Life flows on like a river that homes to the sea. 1 hour bounding in veils, one hour winding through our lea. None may linger on the way, none may coax time to stay. Fleeting scenes move by us like a dream. Cling not, none will be your own, lest you grieve to be alone. Go within you, there's your home.
We can all stand now for the Aarti. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, 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 Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, 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 Jai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, 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 Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai 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 Ram.
Eyebrows, anybody who might be in any kind of healing, in any requirement of healing, your friends, families, any situations, anywhere in the world, we might want to send this healing. Please also especially keep all our upcoming events of Ananda globally so that they may go well and we might all be channels to bring more and more joyful souls on this path. Keep the upcoming play in our healing prayers, in our daily prayers as well. Let us all pray together. Divine Mother, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in their bodies, minds, and souls. Let us vigorously rub our hands, generating the energy and chanting Om thrice. Everyone at the point between the eyebrows and send our healing. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone, and have a joyful day ahead.